Hello, everybody. I just tried a Facebook Live. I'm just going to take two. Take two. So, the title of this Facebook Live is sometimes the hardest thing to say is the thing that will make the biggest difference. So, I have a program that helps women stop eating emotionally. And I want to explain how big of a deal that is. As someone who used to diet and restrict and then binge and then take laxatives and then go to bed and then repeat that the next day. There is a powerlessness. There is so much, I wouldn't even want to say fear. Hey, Debbie, not even fear, but like there's so little power. There's hopelessness, there's powerlessness, there's shame. And then there's like this thing that we do to ourselves where we hide out in this, we retreat. So I remember I just had this whole habit and this pattern where diet all day and then go to work and then come home and binge at night. And then I would just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And every day that I repeated it broke down my sense of self a little bit more. It broke down my if there was anyone that I was going to reach out to about this, it would become more and more and more impossible because there's so much shame around when we binge or when we fall off our diet or when we don't have any willpower, right? Like there's so much shame around it, as if something's wrong with us. And I sent a text out yesterday to two people who are always on my heart because for this reason. And I'm going to tell you, this scares the shit out of me to say this. So I am a thin person. And when I see someone who's not a thin person, someone who has 30 or 40 or 50 or 80 pounds on their body, I know that that person is eating outside of their physical hunger. So my definition of emotional eating is you're eating outside of physical hunger. I'm not hungry, but I'm eating. And I know I can help that person. And here's what happens. I get so in my head about what they're going to think about me saying something. So I want to share a text message that I sent. I have to share this because this is what happens. This is what goes through my mind when I think about people that I could help. When I think about women that I'm like, oh my gosh, I know the suffering. I may not know, I mean, I know what it's like to be 52 pounds overweight because I had a baby and then the last 20 of it didn't, 25 or whatever, 30 of it didn't come off when I had the baby and it stuck around for a while. I know that, but I don't know what it's like to be heavy consistently. I do know what it's like to be self-conscious and uncomfortable in my own skin on the other side of it, like being too skinny. It seems like, to say it makes me feel like first world problems. But guess what? Self-consciousness and uncomfortableness in your own skin, it's the same, whether you're too skinny or you're too fat. So I want to tell you a text I sent out, and it was for a woman who I talked about her coming into my program, and she was like, yes, I want to do it. And then she backed out. And she's probably 50, 60, 70. I can't guess. I don't know how maybe 80 pounds overweight. And she has been for as long as I've known her. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because this woman is a beautiful soul and she's powerful and she's vibrant and she's giving. And yet she lives in a body because she's trapped in it and she doesn't know how to get out. She doesn't know how to stop doing this thing, which is called using food. And I do. And so I get really self-conscious about, I get self-aware. Like I don't want to offend someone and say, hey, listen, you're obviously walking around in this body has a significant amount of weight on it. My theory is that the weight's here because we're eating outside of hunger. Eating outside of hunger to me is the definition of emotional eating. So every once in a while, every few months, I reach out to her. And there's so many people that I have in my life like this, who I reach out very tentatively, like, hey, how are you? Hey, Happy New Year. hey, how's it going? So I did this yesterday. I said, hey, how are you? And I didn't get a response back. And then this is what I wrote, and I'm going to share it with you. I wrote, hey, so what I really want to say is it's awkward for me as someone who's thin to reach out to you and try to bring up my work. It's always a concern of mine that you think I'm judging you in some way. I know I can help you lose weight for good. So I think about you a lot. And I just want to tell you what's there for me. And what I actually want to say is I can help you. With all of that said, if you don't believe that, or maybe just don't want it or don't want it from me, I accept that. I said, I adore you. I think you're amazing. And I think you deserve to have what you want. I'm risking overstepping the line, but I have a commitment to say what's in my heart, and you, my friend, are in my heart. I wanted to share that because sometimes the hardest thing to say is the thing that will make the biggest difference. And so here I come, onto Facebook Live to whoever is watching this and say, if you are living in a body and that is not where you want it to be, and you desperately want it to be a different way, and you try and you diet, or you lie to yourself and say, oh, I'm working out and I'm doing all this great stuff, but you're really freaking not. You're not. Trust me, I know. I do it. We all do it. But if you're living in a body that's heavier than you want it to be, that's bigger than you want it to be, that you don't have freedom with food, meaning food's there and I'm always thinking about it. And if I'm not thinking about it, I'm thinking about what I could eat and what I should eat and what I shouldn't eat and what I wish I could eat. I know what that's like. I know the prison of that. Like it's awful. It's awful. There's so much shame around it. And I find that, like, when I reach out to people, what I have is like, hey, I'm not trying to call you fat. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, I know that if you give me a shot, I can help you. The question is, and you can say, I don't want your help. We will part as friends. I respect the hell out of that. But I get stopped because I'm like, I don't want you to think that I'm calling you fat. I don't want you to think that I'm saying you need to change. What I'm saying is, if you're struggling, like I'm struggling, I don't want to be in this body anymore. I don't want to do this obsessive thinking about food and calories and what I can eat and what I can't. Like, I know what that's like. And I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. And I can teach you how to not do that anymore. Like, that is the power and the freedom in that. Just the freedom, mental freedom. Just the mental chatter and the obsessiveness, the obsessive thoughts, the not looking at myself in the mirror, the hating myself, the judging myself, the beating myself up if I ate or even wanted to eat a food that was like bad. Or maybe you're on the other end and you're just like, screw it, I'm going to eat whatever the hell I want. And then you feel bad about that because you're not eating whatever you want. You're eating whatever you want, whenever you want, whether you're hungry or not. That, if you stop doing that, if you had tools and you actually dealt with whatever was there and you actually, that was done for you, I can't tell you the freedom. I just can't tell you. So what's in my heart is for me to get on here and say, the thing that needs to be said is, if you're living in a body that isn't where you want it to be, and you're dealing with food in a way that it's controlling you, not the other way around, I implore you to reach out to me. Like, reach out to me, PM me. If you have my number, text me, comment on this Facebook. What's up, Mary Carol? Because I can 100% help you. Like, I can 100% help you not do that anymore. And let me tell you something. I remember what it was like to be obsessed about my body, to be obsessed about food, to be obsessed about exercise, to be obsessed about, like, to just binge, just to go off the rails and just binge and then use laxatives. Now, you may not be doing any of this. Maybe all you do is overeat. That's enough. I have tools and techniques that can help you not do that. The question is, will you be courageous enough to say, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I'm just going to at least have a conversation and see what's possible. Maybe she can help me. Maybe the skinny bitch can help me. And it's not about like, hey, I want you to be skinny. I can give a shit. I can give a shit. But if you want it and you beat yourself up because you don't have it and you use food, if you use food at all, you have no freedom. If you use food at all, you have no freedom because you don't use it, it uses you. The truth is, you don't use food, it uses you. So comment in the comments, throw a little something in there. Yes, that's me. Or Facebook message me and let's just talk. Let's just talk and see where you're at. Okay. I needed to say this. I needed to come in here and throw this in here. And I stand for women being empowered in their bodies. I stand for women being empowered with their choices, being at choice, and not doing this freaking thing that we do. And I see all the time. And, you know, oh, I'm going to be happy when I lose this 10, 15, 40, 80 pounds. No, you're not. You're not. You're not going to be happy unless you're happy. And that's the screwed up part. The screwed up part is you're not going to be happy until you're happy, but our happiness is out there. So let's figure out how to get it in here. All right. Love you. If this resonates with you, reach out to me. I can help. Peace.